Good morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. It's Larry Benedict, joined by Eric Shamalov. Good morning, all. Just look behind me. We got a down day, and Touchdown T is not here, but he may show during the show. So if you are short, you may want to make a little bit of covers here just in case he happens to pop in, which I believe is going to happen very shortly. But market's down overnight. I think the funniest thing I want to start with is I wake up this morning when the market's down 80, and somehow Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley say the market is due for a correction. Surprise! I mean, come on. It's unbelievable. They had that same comment 1 month ago. Literally. The guy Solomon at Goldman was like, the market looks frothy. We should correct. And then the market kept going up and you never heard another comment. But today, since we're down, starting down 1.5% the NASDAQ and 1.01, 1.1 in S&P to start the day, they're feeling giddy that we're going to get a correction. There's a lot of things in the market that look interesting. Out of the money puts are trading very bid right now. What I mean by that is 3 and 4% lower in the market for tomorrow. That's only one day, are bid to the sky. Like, I wouldn't touch those, I wouldn't sell those, but they're bid up. And VIX is back to what, 19? If we don't hold on the opening, VIX will go to 23 today if we end down over 100 handles. Everybody's short options on balance. The street, continually thinks that the market is going to rally. I don't know why, but we'll have to see what today brings. One of our favorites on the show on the stock side, Palantir, which went from $2 to 200 and whatever yesterday, had good earnings. But if you really want to know the truth, the earnings, if you add them up for the amount of revenue they have, the valuation is off the chart. Okay. Valuation, market cap off the chart. Stock is still $50 higher than it was in August. Okay. So we'll see. Stock's down 8%. It could go down a lot more. But even at $180, the stock is probably too expensive for what it is, but we'll see. Yesterday, Nvidia, it's the same culprits. It's Eric, it's the same culprits from the 1999 2000 internet bubble that are pumping these stocks. Dan Ives and the other guy who upgraded it yesterday from Loop, Gene Munster. Same guys were there in 99 and blew everyone to smithereens. So, it's interesting that they're, pumping these stocks again. So that's where we sit. Interestingly enough,
I just wanted to I just wanted to interject real quick and
sure.
pull up a chart of the Palantir earnings reaction, which I thought. Look, going into that earnings report, I had no Palantir position. I was just watching, and coming into it, I was just looking. I was like, look, usually before earnings, it doesn't really pump that much pre-earnings, but Palantir went up like 20% into its earnings report. Like he said, it had a good one. Look at this initial reaction. It went up initially 7.5%, and it looks like a blow off top. It came right back in, and that's usually a great signal when you have such a big reaction initially, and then it completely starts to retrace. There's usually a point. It's usually around that 50% retracement of the move, which we had around what 212 a share, and that was a great spot if you were trading post market. It gave you that layup kind of quantitative setup, and it's trading where like 190.
Yeah, 190. It's actually got below 190 a minute ago, back above 190. It's trading about 190. It's funny. I have a position on in there, a little bit of put ratio. said. And I'm gonna look. Oh no! Look what you showed.
Good
Wait,
morning.
buy futures.
Oh boy,
I heard the market
I'm
was down.
wondering.
Oh my God! What happened?
Are
Touchdown.
we covering now? Are we covering?
All the look, we had a double uptick in S&P as Thomas sits down, but no, all good. I don't even think his karma could screw this day up, but we'll see. um, anyway, um, I don't listen. I don't know, and I've been saying this for a while, and I don't know how people are gonna feel with a down market, even if, listen, if we correct 5%, think about it. We rallied over 50% in S&P off the low and over 60% in NASDAQ off the low ish. Okay. What's a 5% correction? Nothing, right? But nobody, you know this, Eric, nobody can handle that. There is no one out there that can handle Palantir going back to 140 or 130. And I'm a little nervous because I'm net short puts on balance. I'm covered with out of the money puts, but I start getting long Palantir at like 170, 175 a share, which right now at 190 looks kind of safe, but I don't feel that safe with that position. It's only a week position, so it ends this week, but I'm going to have to make adjustments if that stock goes down through 185. It's not there yet, but not very much bounce. Market bounced off the low last night. The SPOOs were down about 100 handles when I happened to wake up at like 2:45 in the morning. It bounced a little. NASDAQ, surfing towards the low, 30, 40 points off the low. Um, I think you might see a day like we saw a couple of Fridays ago. And the interesting thing was, we talked about this yesterday. Every Monday is positive, right? So what happened on that down move, okay? Um, what happened on that down move was they had the weekend to basically save the market, but now it's harder to do that when the market is actually open because stocks never close. So it's harder to move the market up. So we'll see. At least vols are up. Okay. I don't. What do you see? I see the VIX at 1938. I haven't looked at the VIX futures, but I'm assuming
They're
that
right
they're
on
what?
1995.
Right. So they're $20. If we go down 150 handles today, let's just say we double the move now, you're going to see a 25 VIX in a day. You will see that. And that's the scary, scary part about this, which leads me to believe that nobody has hedges. Nobody is hedged at all. Okay. And if you look around the market, Eric, look at what you're looking at. Okay. To be honest, look at what you're looking at. Is gold up or down today?
It's actually down.
It's getting smoked, okay? Because all risk assets have to be sold right now because they're overlong all of these different outlets. The one that's interesting and it's traded there for hours and hours and hours, and now it's like even upticking, is that Bitcoin hasn't broken 103. It's trading at 104, and it's actually, it's got a little bit of a bid to it. It's not, listen, by no means is it bid, but I remember it's flashing in my mind when you said to me, everybody, a million people had to liquidate Bitcoin or altcoins and Bitcoin at the same time. Where's the liquidation here? Is there going to be like there's got to be a number in here where there's going to be a mass liquidation, okay? Because we talked about it yesterday. If you go back, Bitcoin really never traded below 100 literally since the election. It ran up from like 80 to over 100, back and filled a little in the high 90s, but really never traded lower than that. But I would tell you an interesting thing that got me.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to say we talked about that Bitcoin number, you and I, yesterday. And I think we discussed the number close to 103, 1025. The low of the day in Bitcoin is 1035. So it came real close to that number you and I discussed and kind of stopped short.
But there's
at
no
that.
acceleration. That's the thing. There's no acceleration. It's like just sitting here. It's been sitting here since 2 in the morning, which is so weird. And then, I would tell you, I think it's important for people out there right now to watch the interview, the full interview of Trump on 60 Minutes talking about the pardon of Zhao or whatever the guy's name is from Binance. Did you see this interview?
No.
It's incredible, dude. He pardoned the guy. He doesn't even know who he is. He doesn't know one thing about who he is, what he does. She goes, "Oh, you pardoned whatever Z, whatever his last name is. You pardoned this guy. Why'd you do it?" He's like, he didn't even know he did it. So I think like his kids are telling him what to do. Pardon, the guy from Silk Road. Pardon this guy. Pardon that guy. And his comments about Bitcoin, in my mind, were very middle of the road. He wasn't like, "I love Bitcoin." He's like, "Well, whatever." It's literally a way for him. He got elected by that group of people by pumping up Bitcoin. He doesn't really like Bitcoin. He doesn't even know anything about it. And what was shocking is he pardoned a guy. I mean, think about this. You don't think that's crazy? He pardoned a guy and he didn't even know who it was. That's not crazy.
Hey, you know that it's difficult to say no to your kids.
I know,
So
but I'm just saying he pardoned someone he doesn't even know who he pardoned. They mentioned the guy's name and he's like, "Who is that?" And they're like, "That's the guy you pardoned from Binance." He's letting out hardened criminals that are involved in Bitcoin just because they're he's being told to do it. You know, but I would think again, like, what do you do here in Bitcoin? Like, you can't really buy it, but to get like, I'm a little bit short, but I'm gonna add to the short at 102 to get a little bit more aggressive. But until it gets there, I'm not doing anything. It's just sitting here at 104,
right.
and the stock market. I mean, are you looking at the market today? It looks like it's on a ledge. Um, I
Yeah.
mean,
You know what was interesting? I was trading this last night. I'm sure you were as well. Um, it was straight down. There was never a bounce. Um, it was like if you're trying to get short last night, maybe on a Palantir earnings report or something like that, like it never challenged you, which to me that tells me that there may be some more downside in the coming days. There was just
well,
no
I
challenge.
don't know if I fully agree with that because I was trading last night and
There was no challenge.
there
It was
were
straight down.
bounces. What?
There was no. I didn't see any bounce.
There was
Not
bounces.
anything.
We were down 70, we went to minus 50. We didn't have bounces where we went up on the day or had any significant bounces, but there were, trust me, I traded a lot of stuff. Okay. And there were bounces. We were down like 20, sat there, then we went down 40, bounced around, then we went down 60. The one we didn't bounce out of originally is from where we are now to down 100 on S&P, and then we bounced out of that. We bounce. I mean, listen, these bounces are very weak, but I want to point out to people watching now, pull up tomorrow's options for S&P.
I will. But look, this is the ES last night, dude. It's straight down. There was never a bounce.
Okay,
Never. It's just.
okay. I don't know.
It's. It's like a knife through butter. I don't know if you get short at six p.m. at the future open. I don't think anybody's getting stopped out on this trade. It's
I
just
never
straight
said that
down.
anyone would be stopped out, but I was able to sell calls and call spreads on rallies of like 20 points, which work out well. And you know what's interesting? I'll tell people out there from my experience. So volatility, let's say, is about 20. If the market has a leg lower here, which it's teetering and holding on right now, it's actually holding. Bitcoin's holding, the things are holding. But what happens is if we happen to get a rally of 20 S&P points, you know what happens to the call options? They get annihilated. They don't go up, they actually go down. So really, by selling some out of the money calls, you're in good shape, because once the volatility comes down, when you do it short dated, whether it's for today or tomorrow or the next day, that volatility comes in and those options come down. So, you
I
know,
actually I like that very much actually. So what I'm looking at tomorrow, for
no,
instance,
I want to look
69.
at tomorrow. I want to look at tomorrow out of the money puts. Go down $150. These puts are bid. Okay. Like we're on the futures at what,
Oh yeah,
6,800. These puts are bid.
6,600 puts are 360.
I mean, doesn't that freak you out? 200 S&P points. Okay, that's another 3%. So,
Baby
I mean,
steps. We need baby step. We need to crawl. The bears need to crawl out of hibernation before they're all out hunting for the bull after a long hard winter.
I don't know. Listen, you as a
Talking about
as a trader,
600 already.
as a
You know,
trader, you go from where you are right now. Okay, that's where you go from. Doesn't, like, listen, I look like, everyone wants to throw darts at my face and I'm an idiot and all this other stuff. And all I'm telling people to be cautious, and markets don't go up forever, and there's risk in the market. And in this market, there's massive undue risk. Okay. Listen, I can show you statements. Okay. And people that are watching this podcast probably bought the stock as investors of mine at $3 in Palantir. Okay. Now I'm an idiot because we sold it in the 20s. Okay. And it went up 10x. Okay. So I'm the fool on that. But the bottom line is that stock couldn't go up for years. Everything they did was wrong. And now, because Donald Trump is the president and they think he's friends with Peter Thiel, that they're going to just hand the guys, government contract after government contract. But it's really the same business that people were poo pooing, and saying would never do anything. And if you scale out like the revenue numbers, the numbers just don't add up. And it's funny to me, how the stock is at 190 and people think it's a buy, until basically 2 days ago, Eric. It never traded 190 ever. So yes, it came in from 210 or 205, but it never traded above 190 for any period of time. And if you look back 3 months ago, it was 140. So is it really a steal at this number? I mean,
no,
and the question is, they put out the best number they could ever put out. They did it on purpose. So we'll see. But I want to talk about, other markets, like, you know, I don't know if you've changed your opinion on gold. Um,
no,
you know, um, you're still bullish.
yeah,
Why?
always bullish.
Okay. Well, that's a little dirty.
I mean, look, I'll get stopped out on a trade. That doesn't phase me. I'm just looking for the next opportunity to buy gold, and I think I'm going to be doing that for the next 5 years.
Dude, you are. Listen to me. I'm not. I'm going to remain so mellow today because I want to, but that's just so arrogant and so crazy of a comment, that you're going to always buy gold for 5 years. Nothing is
Yeah,
going to change your mind.
yeah. Look, I'm going to reduce positions here and there, right?
Well, how can
But
you handle it? But how can you handle it? Like, what I'm asking you is, the market is looking really not great. It's up 50% for the year. I mean, this would be the one that they would come to hit first, because it's up so much. They're up money, so they take profits out of that. And I would think,
I
big
was
news.
actually concerned about that last night when I saw the market dropping like that. I'm like, uh, gold might have an issue because they might be selling it for liquidity.
I mean, they haven't even really sold it. I mean, it's got to go down another 20, $30 in gold to get into the channel for it to go, 100 lower. Um, but right now, we're a little bit shorted, through options. Feel okay about that. Not going to make a move. May add if it gets weaker, but it'd have to go down another $25 from here. But like to say, like I just can't do that. Like as a trader and as an investor, I just can't. I can't, watch something go down.
You don't. You have biases all the time that you like. You will not go long. You know, tech.
Why do you
That's your
say that?
bias.
That is
But
so
you're
not
more
true. That is so
okay.
not
You're
true.
more
That
like
is
you're more
so
like
not true. I've been long
you're
tech millions of times this year. Okay. It may be for a short period of time, but 100% I buy tech. 100% I'll buy NASDAQ when it washes out 10% here or whatever the number will end up being. Of course I will. I'm not biased ever. I mean, listen, I'm biased in here because the market has rallied significantly for reasons that don't make sense. And I don't really want to get into this that much this morning because I actually have to wrap at 10 after 9 because I have a meeting. But I would tell you this, okay? I take the pulse of the market, okay? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And when you're in, I'm not going to call it a bubble, let's just say an overinflated market or whatever, okay? It works really differently. And the people that are long almost have the attitude that you're saying in gold, that you're going to buy gold for the next 5 years and you're never going to sell it. Okay. I think the same thing is with equities. If Palantir, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, if Palantir went from 190 today to 120, do you know how many people would sell their position that is not professional in the market for a living? You know how many people would sell their position? The answer is zero, not a person. They would all cry to me and I'd be getting 500 phone calls, but they would not sell a position, okay? And that to me is the reason that we have issues on top. And the truth is, like today, they're going to
you're
try to
equating.
buy this
You're
market. I don't know
equating.
why,
You're
but
equating. No, no. You're equating two completely different things. The example you brought up in Palantir is a hallmark of the retail psychology. The reason I'm looking for buying opportunities in gold is because I believe it's in a secular uptrend, and in secular uptrends, you
time
just
out,
want to.
time out. I like that. I like that secular uptrend. I like it. Okay, but what takes it out of a secular uptrend? A 25% down move, a 30% down move? What could anybody handle? Dude, you've
I
seen.
don't think it's a percent move. It would be a macro environment where we're starting to talk about deflation. If that starts to happen, maybe that takes us out of a secular uptrend. But I don't think that's the case right now. So
Dude, I just don't know. I just literally, what I don't understand, and I'm going to pull my hair out in a second, is, dude, in the stock market, nobody had to handle a down two. Do you know what the biggest down move since April has been? Like 2.5% on S&P. That's it. Gold is down almost 20%. It's down like 15 or 17% off the high. That's a whole different ball game than what we're dealing with in S&P. Like S&P, you can see since we got on the podcast, they want to buy. They're going, they're doing their thing. Beep, beep, it's not really like you said, the bounces are ineffective today for right now, but it's the same thing. And I think you could sell bounces today because it's funny. We've been up 7 months in a row. Yesterday we were up, which it didn't feel like a down day yesterday. It literally felt like a down day, but we were up in NASDAQ 100 points. S&P was slightly flat to lower.
no, I was getting like max frustrated yesterday. It did not feel like an update to me. And I was looking for the downside. So I don't know if it why it felt like a down day. It did not feel like that. It was if you're short yesterday, it was tough. I think.
I don't know. I don't like we had a very good trading day yesterday. I thought, and I think you can do the same type of things today. I mentioned early in the podcast when you talk about like what to do, I would sell short term out of the money call spreads that are significantly out of the money, because if you do that and volatility, the market rallies a little, volatility gets hit, and you get rewarded both ways. So I like that trade. You mentioned yesterday to me, you like trading futures in this. I don't like trading futures in this. I don't want to get shaken out. I don't want to get shaken out, and you can get shaken out.
Yeah,
So
100%. It was interesting we had that conversation because yesterday was a perfect day for what you're saying, which is out of the money calls and put spreads. But last night was perfect for futures.
um, you know what? I don't know. I mean, listen, like puts ended up working out yesterday on the short side, but they're certainly not going to work out today, you know, for the most part. Um, it's
So, what you wind
interesting.
up? Did you wind up sending some trades for the your SPX trader?
Yeah, we've been making money every day on that. This is a good environment. We're basically close to even, which has been a struggle. We're going to have a month and a half to go, hopefully, when we're even, and it'll be another up year. But a struggle in the product, to be honest. I apologize to people for that. But
I've
again,
seen you. I've seen you. I remember 2021. Okay, it was a very similar environment. The spread product wasn't working very well for a few months, and then the last 3 months of that year, I think you made like 150 premium option points on your S&P trader. It was something crazy like that. So
yeah,
I
but
think you.
it was a different environment. I was a lot more aggressive and opinionated, and usually in this product we do $1 and $2 and $3 spreads if we get it. Back then, the reason why we really killed it was because they had the straddles priced up and we went directional. We were selling $5 and $7 call spreads, which sometimes is better. You talk about sometimes on the air, which I don't love the strategy. You sell, and it would have worked today really well. You sell an in the
Mhm.
money call spread that's in the money for like $7 or $8 with a max loss of two. So, that spread doesn't hit up all that often, but when it hits up, you're making, $6 to $8. So, that spread works then. But overall, looking around the market, other than the
And
spook.
you have a promo coming up. When is it this week? On your spread trader. You
Mhm.
want to tell everyone about it a little bit?
Yeah, well, we're doing a promo, and basically, we have certain things that we look at to trade these spreads, and we'll sort of get into that on the promo, and we'll get more granular as it gets closer, fill everybody in. But you know I have a bunch of different stuff coming out, so I'm excited, and we'll keep everybody updated on that as we go. But I really want to cover the markets. I have a hard stop in 10 minutes, so let's get to bond market bounced off that 410 level, but it's still 409. So even bonds have a slight bid, but nothing that's that great right now. So we have, bond up slightly. Currencies have really bucked the trend. Yen is up a lot. Euro is up a lot. I mean, against the euro, dollar's up decently. Low levels in the last couple of months, 114.92. We're long the euro. It hasn't really worked. We're down about 100 pips, which we've been whipped around in this thing. I mean, the currency trader is doing okay today, but we've been whipped around. Yen is doing better. Oil back to 60 like a magnet. And Gold looks really bad to me. I know you say buy the dip and hold on, and we're in a
Well, right
secular.
now it's just I feel like it's just consolidating um, for the next move.
Dude, I don't know how much, dude. You are. I'm gonna call you like the Teflon Don. You're gonna take unlimited heat. You're gonna wait for it to drop another 10% and say you'll never sell and you love it and keep it for 5 years. How could you know in 5 years or even 1 year what's gonna happen? I mean, I can't. I mean, that is such a
Number one asset this year, my friend. Number one asset.
I understand, but it's here now, and
Number
this is
one.
where it is. Doesn't matter,
Number.
dude. It's the number one asset. But if you got in above 4,000, you're not making money. It's the same thing in Bitcoin.
I've been telling you and your people buy it since we started the
They're
podcast.
your people too, bro. They're your people too. Okay, our people. I understand, and you keep saying buy it. So it reminds me of like the total retail.
Not
Listen,
blindly, not like a not without any kind of risk management. Like again, I
well, what's
always like
your
when we
well time
have
out? That's what I
there's
just
a trading
asked you.
account.
What's
No,
your
there's
risk
a trading
management? What's the risk
for a
management?
trading account. For a trading account,
I don't
listen
know,
for a
for any
trading.
account, for real money. For real money, people with real money, what do? People with real money
Okay,
can't handle a down 10% move. I can promise you that. They cannot handle down 10%. So,
listen, in a passive book, I think that Ray Dalio said 15%. I'm in agreement with that. I think that's a good number right now over the next.
Eric,
Listen, the market.
Eric,
You have to ask yourself,
nobody is
are
on this
stocks going
show.
to outperform
Time out.
gold?
Nobody is on this show looking to make a passive investment in gold of 15%. People on this show want to know what we think right now, what the direction is, how they can make money, and how we can move. Not, hey,
I think
Joey,
there's a
put
trade right now.
15% in
I think
gold.
it's consolidating. You got
Where's
to wait
the
for a
dude?
breakout
We said this
450.
before. Where's the next 10%? Up or down? Okay. All right. Well, the last 10%, you lost that one. Okay. Now, then I say the next 10% is down. And you know what's crazy, Eric? It if we go down 10% in gold from here right now, it'll still be the best performing asset. Okay. So what
Correct.
does that mean?
Nothing. Well, what does it
Right.
mean? I
It
just see
means
it
that
as I
people
don't
got
see a trade
incinerated.
right. Do you see a trade in gold right now? Like, what is the trade in gold?
I'm
Short?
short gold. I'm short gold
Okay.
through options, but I'm short gold.
All right. That could work. I'm not
Mm,
saying it can't. I just
mhm.
see it consolidating up and down 100 points, and that's it. And I think a breakout above the last few days highs, I think, is a good signal to get back in. We're not there yet. Like a break above yesterday's highs, I would chase that.
Okay. I don't. I don't see a long trade. I see I see
I don't
assets.
see any trade right this second.
Why you don't see assets being washed out like
In
that?
gold, yeah, I see that, but in gold, I just see it consolidating up and down 150 points. That's it.
Well, we're close, dude. What's the low of this move? Well, you got to be within 30 points of the low of this move. I mean, so I don't know when you're saying up and down. I mean, we got to be darn close to the low of the move. Maybe we're a percent away, which is,
We're
what?
about 80 points. We're about 80 points above the low of the move.
Right. So we're basically 2% above the low of the move. To
Yeah,
me, the action looks weird. When I walked in, gold cash was down $3. It's now down 35. I mean, that's a pretty decent move. I don't know. The one that's really mystifying to me, and we may get hit on the opening at 9:30 in Bitcoin below 103, is this Bitcoin. It's been sitting for 4 hours in a 200 point range. Like, what is that? This used to be the most volatile asset class in the world. You know that. And now it's just sitting here. It's like they're praying that they buy the market. They're literally praying that people buy the market. And if they don't, it's gonna come in and get hit and come for sale. But watch the 102.5, 103 area on Bitcoin. I do think it goes lower. I do think you're going to see below 100,000 at some point. I don't know if it's going to be, today. If we get aggressive selling, um, you know, you may see that. But S&P itself looks, it looks like it can't bounce. And you're correct, that the bounces are futile. And I was just trading like $10 and $15 bounces, which are not really bounces. But S&P is trading where we are right now. And believe it or not, we're 20 handles off the lows. So, most likely we could take the lows today. That being said,
S&P's down 80. Uh, Usually on days like this, we go, we hit that 100 point mark, you know.
I don't know. How many
So
days like this have we had? Like two in the last year? I mean, like, the Fed day where you turned white was like a year, 2 years ago. And then we had 4 Fridays ago now that we went down for fake Trump news. I mean, what's interesting about this correction or this down day, I wouldn't call it correction, this down day is there's no there's no real headline. Do you see any headline news? I mean, other than that, every firm said we're going to
all
correct.
Palantir. Nah, it's all everybody was just like, oh my god, Palantir is reversing,
How
and
you think Palantir
yeah,
is
yeah,
running the stock market? Okay.
yeah.
All right, good. Whatever. Okay. Whatever you say. Okay. Palantir, a $400 billion company, is running the
100%.
stock
A lot
market.
of people, 100%. A lot of these a good chunk of
Eric,
today's
it's a
liquidation.
$380 billion company. It's tiny. It's one-tenth the size of NVIDIA, less than one-tenth the size. This
Yeah,
is
but
not
what it
moving
means,
the S&P 50 to 80
it's
handles. There are
it's
other
such a
things involved.
I know, but it's such a
And it's at
retail base.
190. This is like almost an all-time high. This is this if we close at 190, it's the third highest close in the history of the stock. How is that taking the market down? I'm just lost. Like everyone in Palantir is up fortunes of money.
Okay, let me ask you a different question.
Sure.
Let's say Palantir was up 7% today, or 10%. You think the market is down?
Yes. I don't think listen, why are you laughing?
There's
I
no
I
way.
dude,
No
can
way you
I
think that.
explain? You know what? I have to go shortly, but I'm going to explain something to you. Not one individual stock is moving the market because I'm going to tell you, and people on this podcast that used to work with me and know me well, and we've discussed this many, many times on the phone. Okay. This market is a rigged market. So, what you do today might be different because we're down 80 handles, but if we were down 40 right now, you know what you do? You look at Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Facebook, and two other stocks. And one of those stocks is going to be up today with the market down 80. Okay, you'll see it later. One stock in the Mag 7 or two will be up today. Okay,
Hmm.
that's what they do. So not one stock is maneuvering the market. Palantir being down, what's Palantir down? 7%? That's not even a lot. I mean, honestly, the stock is up. I mean, what is the stock up? Thousand
Yeah, but
percent?
I know, but it's making people think about valuation for some reason today.
Because it's down 7% in a day?
On,
Hold
on a
on.
good report.
Go back
On a good
5 days
report.
and tell me Palantir's close. I'll bet you we go back 5 days and Palantir was lower than this. 3 days. Okay, I don't know what you're looking at. The stock is up. Even at this price, it's up. It's up. It's only been higher than this twice, Eric. So I don't understand. Like people are worried
The
in
sentiment,
Palantir at
sentiment has
190.
shifted. I feel like the sentiment shifted overnight. People are now talking about valuations today. They weren't talking about them yesterday.
Okay, but what
Other than me and you, or
Eric,
just
the
you, no
S&P
one
is
was
down.
talking about
Timeout. The S&P is down 1%. You're making this like it's a crash scenario, and we're down
it.
1%. It's just people can't handle down. They can't handle it. Okay, so basically the stock, okay, was only higher than the price it's trading right now Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and yesterday. So 4 days in the history of Palantir, it was higher than this. So what is the calamity? Dude, go back a month and a half, it was trading at 140. So I'm not understanding what's so net. The stock is up $50 in the last 3 months. Okay. I'm gonna look at the metrics. Like, so how is this throwing people? Okay. In the last 3 months, it's up 30%. Okay. In the last month, it's up 20%. Okay. And in the last 5 days, it's up 10%, of which it's only down 7. So in the last 5 days, day over day, the stock is higher. That's not freaking
Okay,
you out and you're freaking panicking because the stock's higher than it was 5 days ago. Who's
I'm
getting
not
hurt?
panicking.
What?
I just think there's a little bit of a sentiment shift, and
Okay,
that has
well,
a lot.
do you know how much? Let me ask you what. Do you know how much Palantir's up on the year? Do you know how many percent? It's actually mind blowing. It's up
Uh,
300% for the year. It's
right?
tripled. Okay, and
Nice.
you think people are panicking? And that,
No,
dude, this stock at 190 is significantly too high for the earnings, for the market cap, and for everything moving forward. Okay, so yes, what happened is it, like you said, it's a crowd favorite. Okay, this is a crowd favorite, but the crowd is long this thing. This Listen, I have a guy who's on this podcast, I hope right now, who knows my position in the stock. And we were talking about it. And we were talking about, holy cow, what if Palantir goes down 50 tomorrow? We weren't looking at 17. 17 is 8%. Dude, it's up 9% for the week, Eric. I don't know. Is that really that bad? I'm just trying to say. I just don't know what's going on in the market. And again, we've been on the podcast for how many minutes? 45 minutes. The S&P hasn't moved 4 points. We're going to have trading in the morning. I saw it yesterday. We're going to have trading in the morning. It's going to get a little skittish. Yesterday, they had the market cratering down. I don't know if you remember this. It was cratering down, went negative on the day. And then all of a sudden, it stopped and went back up and stopped trading for hours.
yep.
So I don't know. We'll have to see. What's going on. I would keep a very good eye today on Bitcoin. It's trading 104. We're shorted. I'm a little frustrated that it hasn't moved more. We may take off half the short position today for our product. We have, for everyone out there that's trading with me, we have an IBIT put that's really working well. We may take half that position this morning. I want to try to stick in here, so we're going to try that, and really overall, like looking at trades today, um, if the market breaks down to minus 90, minus 100, we'll put another leg of shorts on by call spreads. Otherwise, we're just going to sit and wait it out, see what happens here. Gold bounced a little. Short that, may cover a little of that. May look to get long a little crude oil here. So I'm getting a little specific and giving, ideas. These are the thoughts for, day trades. Again,
What about on the zero DTE side? What S&P levels do you think are good?
S&P levels, I I don't know. I mean, probably sell a downside put depending on what we could get for it. Tempting the market to go lower, but it would have to be at least 60 or $70 away from where we are now, which if we have a day like this, the whole market.
So I'm looking at that as well. But would you like when the time? Let's talk about the timing. How would you time, let's say, a a 6700 put or a 6720 put, would you hit that right at the open, or would you wait for
I
maybe
like
another
to
low?
I like to I like to sell close to the open. I just don't think there's a lot in these put spreads. Like you're saying 6,700 put. What are you going to do against it? Every put's the same price. Like that's the problem. They're all the same
Yeah,
price.
right. And the problem is that's really the only level I would actually be comfortable with for today. Um,
Mhm.
so I would like, for me personally, I'm like waiting for like the
Next
next
stop.
leg low. Like the U.S. market is going to open, they're going to want to sell something too. I would assume, right?
Yeah.
You think they're just going to buy this right off the open? I'm not sure. So I just
No,
kind of like
I
want.
think I actually think it'll be a better trading day if they try to buy a little on the opening. Let them buy. It's funny. These guys are all looking for a fairly significant size correction. You know, and if the numbers come in, if we get a 10% correction, we're going to get more. And the question is, what's the S&P for the year is up 16%. So if we do correct 10 or more here, we're going to have kind of a flattish year. And if we have that, people are going to get hurt here. It looks impossible for it to happen, but we're going to watch today to see what they're made of, because they're giving them the opportunity to buy on the opening here down 75. If it doesn't hold, we're going to go down 100, and then from there we'll see what happens. So right now I would say wait on the opening. Maybe if we bounce a little, sell some upside call spreads, knowing the fact that volatility will come in. But volatility is too cheap in general, I think, for right now. Market
Mhm.
on opening imbalance is basically a half of a billion for sale, which isn't that big. So it's small for sale on the opening. Um, I'm going to run because I'm actually late. But I wish everyone a good trading day. Gave you some specifics. I hope you guys can take advantage of it. Be careful out there. They're going to buy the dip because they think a 1% move is a massive dip. I don't know why. And I would fade a little bit by using call spreads. And then if we go down 100, get a little bit more aggressive because you'll be wiping everyone out. And I appreciate everyone for joining today. And thanks for being loyal. And we appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy.
Later on, have a good day.
Bye.